Hello. Hi guys, hello there. Yeah, welcome to this section for Bootstrap. And my name is Tobi Akinrinmade. I am your Bootstrap instructor. Throughout the course of this program, I'm going to be teaching you SEO and Bootstrap. And yeah, so this is the Bootstrap class. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. You can drop a comment in the comment section, in the live comment section. Let's know where you are watching from. Let's know if you're and then yeah, this is the Girls into Tech initiative, and this is the second class that I'll be taking for today, and then it is for Bootstrap and for Bootstrap web development. Thank you for joining us again. Some of you might have joined us during the webinar on Saturday, and where we invited people like Omobolanle and Moladimeji and Raima Tatata, where they talked about a whole lot of tech routes that is available for you to join. But however, one of the key takeaways from the live webinar that we had on Saturday was that although there are several things that you can learn, but yeah, there's opportunity to learn more than one things, and it is okay for you to learn something and discover that you're not really passionate about it, and then you go into some other thing. That is okay. And yeah, so that is the opportunity that this platform brings to you. That is the opportunity that we bring. Earlier on, I was just teaching SEO. Right now, I'm teaching web development with Bootstrap. So yeah, so welcome to class, and let's dive into it quickly. So if I just show my slide, so we have a structure and we know what we are working with. All right. So in this video, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about HTML, and then we're going to look into the basics of HTML to get you started. We're going to look into the basics of HTML to get you started. So right, we are going to look at what text editors are. We're going to look at HTML documents. We're going to look at what HTML elements are, and then we're going to talk about HTML attributes, and then we're going to have a takeaway tags for you to do. So let's dive into it quickly. Right. So I think the first thing that is interesting to talk about is HTML. Sorry, not HTML text editors, but text editors. And then text editors, basically text editors are softwares that you can use to write code and edit code as well. So there are different types of text editors out there. There's Sublime Text. Sublime Text is really popular. Atom is popular as well. Notepad++ is very popular. There are a lot of them out there. But however, for this course, Visual Studio Code, we're going to you should have downloaded and installed Visual Studio Code. If you are yet to download Visual Studio Code, just do Google it quickly, and then and download it on your system, and maybe you can still follow us or rewatch this video later, just to catch up. So however, the website to download Visual Studio Code from is code.visualstudio.com. So if you go to code.visualstudios.com, you'll be able to download Visual Studio from there. And yeah, so download it, install it, and let's get cracking. All right, so for me, I already have Visual Studio Code installed in my system. So I don't have to worry about getting Visual Studio Code. But before we before we go into Visual Studio Code and then we start the whole coding, it is important for you to understand what HTML is. Yeah, it is important for you to understand what HTML is, and then what um, the full meaning of HTML. It is important for you to understand the full meaning of HTML. So HTML basically means hypertext markup language, and then it is the standard language for every website that you see out there today. Um, it is the backbone of every website. So if you think of a website like human, like like our body, um, HTML is going to be the skeleton, like the skeleton in your body, because that is what actually makes up the structure of your body. Your muscles are there, yeah. Your muscles is what actually brings out your beauty, makes you look good, makes you look fine, handsome, and cute, or maybe beautiful, and and pretty and all that. But what actually builds up your structure is the bone or the skeleton, and then this is what HTML is. HTML is like the skeleton of every website. Every other code language um, is just every other language like CSS, cascading style sheet, or JavaScript, and the rest of them kind of just like add beauty to the website, but they are not to the structure. HTML is like the foundation of any website, and that is why it is important for you to learn HTML. Like it is impossible for you not to learn HTML and then you want to go into web development. You already probably know a lot about HTML, but there are some people, who are starting afresh, who are starting from scratch, and they don't know um, anything about HTML. So it is important that we start from scratch, and then we carry these people along. So I've just been able to explain what HTML is. In technical terms, HTML, the full meaning of HTML is hypertext markup language, and then it is the standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed for the web browser. So basically, it is the structure of the browser, and then I just gave an illustration of, like the human body, the skeleton. Um, HTML is the skeleton, and every other thing in the body, like the muscles, are several other languages like CSS, JavaScript, and the rest of them. So HTML is the structure, and then HTML is very much important, right? So you cannot build a website without HTML. So let's just go straight into it, because HTML is basic and then it's pretty much straightforward. Uh, and, however, it is impossible for you to learn how to develop websites without actually putting it into practice. So earlier on, I was talking about text editors, and then I showed several examples of text editors. Um, yeah, so earlier on I was talking about text editors, and then I showed several examples of text editors and Sublime Text, and then I said for this course we're going to be using Visual Studio Code. So you might have seen videos online, videos like this one, where you see maybe like hackers, like hacking and coding or writing code and everything. So the software that they use to write those codes is what we call a text editor, and that is what you can see on the screen right now. This person is writing a code on a text editor. Text editors are basically softwares that are used for to write codes. So let's dive back into our slides, and then let's talk about HTML documents. Um, HTML documents. How do we save HTML files, and how do we create HTML files? Um, One important thing that is one thing that is important for you to know um, before you dive into the whole space of web development. It is also important for you to understand, how how the internet works. It is important for you to understand how the internet works. However, in this video, I'm not going to bore you with the details of how internet works. Internet works. Perhaps it is going to be interesting for you to go away by yourself in your free time and then just do a quick Google search and watch a quick, maybe 5 minutes or 3 minutes YouTube video to understand how the internet works. But to save you the time and then to speed you up, it is not necessary to learn how how the internet works before you actually start coding. So let's go back to our slide, talking about HTML documents, and I'm going to take you into my Visual Studio Code now. Right. So if you've downloaded Visual Studio Code, it should look like this. The startup should look like this. So basically, you just want to select the theme that you want. Do you want it in dark mode, or do you want it in light mode? So basically, dark mode of it, you've used these themes before, so I imagine you understand what this thing what dark mode or light mode are. But for the people that actually don't understand, basically dark mode, everything gets dark. Light mode, everything gets white, just as that. But for someone like me, I prefer dark mode because, you find out that when you start writing the code as well, the light mode is just, oh my God, like, it's ugly. So let's keep it dark mode. Right. So I want you, if you have your Visual Studio Code opened already, good. I want you to go into your file explorer on your system. If you're using a mobile phone, maybe like A code, because we told some people, like, if you don't have a laptop, you can download A code. Please just follow through as well. I really don't know how A code works, but I think it has a very simple and easy to use interface. So you should be able to get the gist as we move along. You should be able to see a button there to create a new file or a new folder, and then just follow the steps all through. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. I may not be able to take them immediately, but I'll be able to take them later. However, this particular class is pre-recorded, so I would advise you ask directly in the WhatsApp group, or if you go to the community WhatsApp group, you can send me a direct message in my on my WhatsApp number, and then feel free to ask your questions anytime. I may not be able to reply immediately because I work during the day, but I would surely get back to you, and I'll be there to support and share my advice. So let's go back into it. You want to open a file, if your file. Let's create a new folder, and then let's call it hello world. Let's call our new folder hello world. All right. So one interesting thing about folders, or when it comes to, like, naming files in web development entirely, or when it comes to, like, naming files coding, is that it's not really a good idea to leave space in between your words. So perhaps maybe just put, like, dash in between, and then make this maybe small letter, or make everything small letter. That's even like even that's better. So put, like, dash in between and make everything small letter. As time goes by, you understand the reason why you want to, like, you don't want to put space in between your file names, and then you want to replace space with dash, and then make everything small letters as well. And I'll just give you an hint. That is because naming files sometimes can determine what your URL is going to be when you finally upload your website online. When you host your website, the name that you give to your file is going to determine what your website link or the page link is going to be. So imagine having a page link with space in between. Doesn't really make sense here. So yeah, so replace space with dash, and then you should be fine. So let's create a new folder. We call that new folder hello world, and then let's just let's put that away. So go back to your Visual Studio Code, and then click on open folder. If you cannot find this open folder button right there, you can use this icon here as well. Click on the icon. That should pop up like that, and the open folder should pop up like that when you click on the icon. So click on the open folder icon, and then it should take you to your computer file explorer. For me, I have several files, but for you, you should know where you saved your hello world file. So what we're trying to do now is like we're trying to target this hello world, pick up this hello world file folder and open it in our Visual Studio Code. So just click on the hello world folder wherever you saved it in your computer, and then select folder, and it should open up like this. So as you can see right here, our hello world folder has opened, but there's nothing. Okay, so you may get this pop-up. Um, all you just need to do is yes, I trust the sorter, and that should go away. So yeah, we've opened our folder now. We want to create our first HTML file. So the next thing that I will need you to do now is like there are some icons on top here. There are like 3 icons um in your Visual Studio Code, and then I'll just go over that quickly. Uh, the first icon is to create a file. So anytime you want to create a new file, you use this icon. The second icon is to create new folders. Anytime you want to create folders, you use the icon. And then this one is just basically to refresh, while this is like um, yeah, that is to like collapse folders and reopen them. But at the moment we don't have any folder to collapse, so there's nothing to collapse or reopen. So what we want to do now is that in this folder called hello world, we want to create a new file. So to create a new file, we're going to use this icon. Click on the icon, and then it should bring out this pop-up asking you to input what you want, input a name for your new file. So I want you to input index.html, and it is important that you so when it comes to like HTML documentation, whenever you create a new file in HTML, um, you have to save it with .html. So basically .html is just the file HTML file extension format. It is the same way that you have .mp4, .mp3, .jpeg, .png, and the rest of the file extensions. So basically, for HTML, it is .html. So whenever you are writing an HTML code or you want to save an HTML file, you need to end it with .html. So regardless of the name that you choose to give your file, so let's say we decide to call this file hello world. That's triple L. So let's say we decided to call this file hello world, .html. No, it is fine. So regardless, if you choose to call it index.html or hello world.html, what is most important is that you save it with .html. But however, when you start coding properly and building websites, and for people that might have attended the SEO class as well earlier, um, for every website or for every landing page, there is always an index page, and the index page is just like let's say the index page is like the mother page. So it is a top level page where all of your content is probably just used to support your index page. They are linked to the index page. So every landing page that you have to build, or regardless, if you create a new folder, everything have to have an index page. So for this program, it may not really make sense to you right now. Don't worry about it. Save yourself the stress of trying to understand what I'm saying. Just focus on the practice that we're doing right now, and as time goes by, um, you will understand. So let's save it with dots index.html, just for the purpose of practice, and then so you stick to that. So yeah, so now we have our HTML folder, and then we have our HTML file. So let's go back to that file explorer, the one that you created the other time, the hello world folder that you created, and it is the same one that we opened in the Visual Studio Code. So let's go back into that file explorer, and then let's open that folder. And what you notice is that this time around there is a file in there, but you did not create any file initially in the folder. You did not create any file through your file explorer, but we have been able to create a file through Visual Studio Code, and everything that we did through Visual Studio Code is reflecting in the file, in the folder called hello world. So that is all I want you to understand here. uh, with HTML documentation, you create a folder in your file explorer, or you can even create a folder through, there are two ways to create a folder. You can either create a folder in your file explorer and then you open it with Visual Studio Code, or you can create a folder right from Visual Studio Code and choose where you want to save it in your file explorer. Either way works. But for the purpose of this training, create a file from your file explorer, create a folder, sorry, from your file explorer, and then we're going to create a file from Visual Studio Code that we like we just did. We created a file called index.html. So yeah, let me take you back to our slide so we stay on track. So far I've been able to show you how to create HTML files, and then I've explained what HTML um what's the name you have to, like, give your HTML, and what format you need to save your HTML file in, which is .html, and that basically means just the basically means the file extension, similar to .mp4 or .mp3. So whenever you create an HTML file, it has to be in DOS. So I've shown you how to create an HTML file, and I've shown you how to save an HTML file. And I think that's, like, one of the basic and most important um, aspects of HTML documentation that you need to understand. So let's go into the next thing on our slide, and then it is important that we use the slide so we stay on track. But we're not really writing anything on the slide. We're just using the slide to stay on track. So let's go to the next thing, which is, like, HTML elements. And then under HTML elements, we're going to talk about tags and then attributes. If I take you again into my Visual Studio Code, earlier on we created a folder called hello world, and then we created a file index.html. So right now we want to go into HTML elements. What are HTML elements? You know what are HTML elements, and what's what does HTML elements means? So there is something called HTML boilerplate. Let me think of the best approach to this. Okay, so let's go into Google. Let's go into Google, and then I'll show you what HTML elements are. I think it is better that way, actually, to show you directly what HTML are. Right, so this is Google right here, and then this is Google's website, obviously. Um, let's go to Lagos based. So for those who don't know, Lagos Base is basically a blog that I own, and then we are just trying to like keep this particular blog updated. So it is very much new, and we're still trying to keep it updated. So very soon you may be hearing about Lagos Based everywhere, and just in case you hear about Lagos Based elsewhere, you know who is the founder of Lagos Based. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, uh, all of that away, back to HTML. So the reason why I brought you to this website is not because I want to show off my website to you, but instead to show you what HTML elements are and you know how HTML works. So for every website, you can actually see code that makes up every website. All you have to do is like right click and then click on view page source. So when you right click and click on view page source, of the these are all of the codes that makes up the website. This is too much code, but that is fine. That is not what I want to show you here. Basically, what I want to show you is what HTML tags are. All right, so if I look for a good example here, and let me just do a little bit of control zoom, if that works. Yep, okay, that's good. That works. Can you see this clearly now? All right, yeah. So let's take this as an example. This right here is an example of HTML elements. So HTML element, it contains an open tag and then a closing tag. Yeah, so this may be too much code for you and everything may be looking like it's just rough and everything. So let's maybe try something a little bit more clear. And then let's go to codepen.io. Sorry, codepen.com. Let's go to codepen.com. So if you don't have a codepen website, I would advise you, okay, codepen.io, that is correct as well. So if you don't have a codepen account, not website, sorry, if you don't have a codepen account, I will advise that you create a codepen account. And then, once you get there, it should look like this. Just sign up and do the necessary things. But however, I don't need this. I don't want to sign up because I have an account already. So I'm just going to click on start coding. And what I want to do is I want to show you what HTML elements are. So when it comes to building websites, there are some things called tags, and tags basically comes in two. Tags will always come in pairs of two. So for example, there's a tag called paragraph tag, and then it is just written like this, and then it would always have a closing tag. All right, so yeah, paragraph tag, closing tag, none of that makes sense to me. So let me try to make it make sense for you. So if we go back to our slide, and then right now we're talking about HTML elements, and then we are diving into tags, and later on we're going to dive into attributes. But we're talking about HTML elements now, and what actually makes up HTML elements. So yeah, so we're back to CodePen, and then earlier on I was just telling you that there are several tags, but tags mix up an element, and tags comes in pairs of two. So there is always an opening tag, and then there is a closing tag. So this is this is paragraph tag, and then it comes in pairs of two. There is another tag called there is heading tag h1, and then as we have h1 as the opening tag, as you see it's right there. Then again, let me just zoom in so you can see this well. We have another h1 tag like that with the forward slash, and this will be the closing tag. So if you look at these two tags, this is opening tag and then this is closing tag. there is just forward slash in between. So what one thing that makes CodePen interesting is that you can type anything in there, and then you see the result of what you type in here. So right now we're talking about HTML elements. Right now we're talking about HTML elements. Right. And the best way for me to show you what elements are is to actually show you in practice what elements are, if that makes sense. So earlier on, I was talking about the paragraph tag, and then I said tags or HTML, yeah, HTML tags would always come in pairs of two. So, just like that. So, and then I give an example of the paragraph tag, and then I give another example of the H1 tag, which is the heading tag, and that comes in pairs of two as well. And there are several other tags that we are going to talk about before the end of this program. But right now, it is important for you to understand what an HTML tag is. So the paragraph tag is basically used to write text in HTML. So now I have a paragraph tag. If you notice now, there's HTML written here, right? And then we can see it right here. Yes, that's fine. But then we are not seeing this code, we are not seeing this code in here, and basically because computer understand that this is a code and not a text, so it won't display the result there. But then when I write something in between, let's say I write hello world in between, right there you can see the output. You can see the hello world output right there. Although the hello world is in between this code, we are only seeing hello world, and then we are not seeing maybe P hello world and then P hello world again. So we are not seeing the code, but we are seeing the text inside the code. And so that's this all of this altogether is an element. Everything altogether in here is an element. This is what an element is. If I write something in here as well, yeah. So you can see the difference again now between paragraph tag and heading tag. Heading tag is more bold like that, and then paragraph tag is just like basically a paragraph. So there you go, that's something new, but we're going to dive in deep we're going to dive deeper into HTML tags in the next class. This section is just to give you the basics to make you understand the basics of HTML, how to save an HTML file, and then how to the terms used to describe HTML file, sorry, I can speak. The terms used to describe HTML, you know, the terms that you need to understand when you talk about HTML. So that's all I'm trying to say. You get the gist anyway. So right. So let's come back to that. So we have hello world, we have and then I've used an example of the heading tag as well. So there you go. All of this all together is an element. All of this together is an element. An element, is just everything. An element is everything that starts from the opening tag to the closing tag. So earlier on I was explaining that we have opening tag and then closing tag. So everything that starts from this point, which is the opening tag, up until the end of this point, which is the closing tag, is an element. So basically, that is what um, HTML element is. So let's go back to our slide so we stay on track. So right now, I think you understand what HTML elements are, and then I just said HTML element is anything that starts from the opening tag and then ends at the closing tag. Those are HTML elements. Right. And then you have an idea of what tags are as well now. Tags will always carry the greater than and the less than sign. and then there's going to be maybe a letter in between. We're going to dive more into tags, so you have like more understanding of different types of tags that we have, different types of HTML tags that we have. Trust me, it is easy to learn. It is very easy to learn. You just need to follow through and just code or type as I say, and you'll be fine. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. Yeah. So I was just talking about HTML attributes. We've talked about tags already, but now we're talking about HTML attributes. So what are HTML attributes? Basically, we have tags and then we have elements. We said elements is anything that starts from the opening tag and then ends at the closing tag. And then tags comes in pairs of two. We have opening tags and then we have closing tags. So that is good. You understand what elements are, you understand what tags are. But then what are attributes? So attributes is something else entirely. And attributes would look like this. Just a minute. So this is another example of HTML tag. It's called an anchor tag. We are going to go into more details in further lesson, so you don't have to worry much about it for now. So earlier on we talked about tags, and then we said tags will always have opening and closing tag. So this anchor tag as well have opening and closing tag. But then we want to talk about HTML attributes. What is actually going to be interesting is for us to do this. So we make that our heading. Right, so yeah, we have HTML elements, hello world. Yeah, so let's have another heading, but this time around we're not going to use H1, let's use H2. And then we want to talk about HTML attributes. All right, so let's talk about HTML attributes. I've explained what HTML tags, HTML elements are. Those are clear. But let's talk about HTML attributes. So we have opening tags and then we have closing tags. But then they could be something else, like a value, further value in the opening tag. It is never in the closing tag. It is always in between the opening tag. So anything that you see in between or after the opening tag, anything that you see after the opening tag is an attribute. And then in this case, this anchor tag have an attribute called the ref tag, and then it is basically used to link. So it is basically used to link websites or to link
text on the website it is used to link text on the website. All right, so in this case, I've just tried to like, right. So yeah, let me show you the let's just focus on the output. Sorry, why is that done that? But why? All right, yeah, sorry, I clicked on what I'm not supposed to click on there. But yeah, so you know, yeah, I'll not done it again. And that's only because I'm trying to zoom this. So if I just click out and zoom, right, and that's better, I think. Yeah, that's a better view. Yeah, this is lovely. So yeah, let's come back to it. We talked about HTML elements being opening tags and closing tags. You know that, and then we talked about tags coming in pairs of two. Right now, we're talking about attributes, HTML attributes, and I've just said HTML attributes would always be in the opening tag. HTML attributes always lives in the opening tag. So from that place to this place, everything I've just had highlighted in here is an attribute. So you notice, although I wrote something in here, yeah, although we wrote something in here, it is not showing here. It is not showing in the output. It is not showing there. So this anchor tag in particular is used to link text to on the website. So now I've just put Google link in there, and then if I just type Google, yeah, we can see it is going to pop out, and now it is a link. If I click on it, oh well, it's not going to open on this page because this is not Google's website anyway. Yeah, it's not going to open on that page because that is not Google website anyway. But there's something else that we can do. There's another attribute called target blank. And basically what target blank does is that target blank would open your link in a different browser. So if I do this, yeah. Yeah, if I do that, it's going to open Google in a new browser. Why is it blocked? I don't know. Right, so maybe not Google then. Maybe Google is angry. But yeah, did I spell this wrong? I did not spell that wrong. But anyway, so let's use a different website then. Let's use Lagos based. Right, so let's use Lagos based, and then let's link Lagos based as well as a text. Good. Remember. Yeah. All right. So I was just talking about attributes here, and then we said we have opening tags and closing tags, and then attributes always live in between or within. Attributes always lives within the opening tag. So all of this right here is an attribute. So this is an anchor tag used to link websites, and then this is an attribute for link, the website link, and then this is another attribute that is used to open the link in a new window. So if I take this away and then I try to click, okay, that's still open in a new window, and that's probably because that is because codepen.io would not open an external link on its own website. It would have to open in a new window anyway. Or no, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. Sorry about that. I'm wrong. So it is actually able to open on its own website. So there we go. There we go. That's kind of like that is actually good to show you that that what target blank does. So you can see right now what is happening right now is that I've linked this website, lagosbiz.com, and then I linked it on there on the previous page that we were working on the page that we were working on. Although everything is gone now because this whole page is serving like a browser. This whole page here is serving like a browser. So I clicked on the link and then the browser now is showing the website. But if I use target blank, and then yeah, and then I just click on yeah. So if you're following and then you have it covered, just click on results, and you should probably reload. Once it reloads, put target blank in there again, target blank, put it back in there. And then this time around, when we click on Lagos based link, it is not going to open. It is not going to open in that dummy browser that CodePen is giving us. It is going to open in a new window this time around. So that is what target blank does. Target blank opens links on the website in a new window. But this particular video is not to tell you the different types of tags or the different type of HTML attributes that we have. This particular video is only to help you understand what HTML attributes and HTML elements and HTML tags, what they actually are. You just this video is just for you to have the basic understanding of what they are. This video is not for you to know all of the tags all at once. We're going to dive more into the types of HTML tags that are out there. So far I've been able to explain that element is anything that starts from the opening tag down to the closing tag. And then I mentioned that tags always comes in pairs of two. And then I give an example of this paragraph tag. So we have the opening paragraph tag and then the closing paragraph tag. And then we went further to talk about HTML attributes, and then I said HTML attributes is anything that lives within the opening tag. So all of this is an HTML attributes. And then I give an example of the anchor tag, and then we linked it to Google blog, but now we linked it to lagosbiz.com, and then that works. So now we know what HTML attributes and tags and elements are. So thumbs up to you. Yeah, so let's just go back to our slide and then to make sure that we are on track again. So yeah, so that kind of like brings us to the end of this particular video. And all I just want you to do right now is for the takeaway tags, all I want you to do right now is like just create your first website. So if you go back to that Visual Studio that we have, and then the code that we have in here, all I want you to do is like copy that code that you've created in codepen.io. Copy that code that you created or you wrote in codepen.io, then go back to your Visual Studio Code and then paste that code in there, paste it in there. Or better still, write the code again from scratch, the code that you wrote in codepen scratch in your Visual Studio Code, right? And then I want you to save it. I want you to save it in your Visual Studio Code. So when you write it again in your Visual Studio Code, just Control S, or just go to File and then click on Save. I want you to save it. So once you save it, go back to your file to your file explorer, and then right click on your file, and then open it with any of your browsers. And let's see if you have the same output that we have in codepen.io. So earlier on I explained to you that this results page of codepen.io is serving as a browser, similar to a browser. And then that is the same thing that we have here. This is your local file serving as a link or URL, and then this is the same output for the code that you've written in codepen.io. But this time around, this one is coming from your local device or from your laptop, because you saved it in Visual Studio Code. So this is the takeaway task that I want you to do, and then I've just done that for you. I've just done the takeaway task for you. All you have to do is just um, all you have to do is replicate the process that I went through right now. It is very simple. It is easy to do. Just type the code as well, and then if you have any question, send me messages on WhatsApp, in the community group on WhatsApp. Feel free to ask all of your questions, or just drop your questions in the comment section as well. I'll be looking at the comment section later on, and then I'll be replying to your comments in the comment section, and to I'll be answering your questions in the comment section. Right. So yeah. So thank you for watching this video on the basics of HTML. I know it is quite long, but it is good that is it is this long, and then it is insightful, because I choose to take my time with the basics. It is important for you to understand the basics, because the basics are the foundation of everything. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and then I will catch you again hopefully in the next video, where we're going to go in depth into the types of HTML tags that are out there, and we are going to start working with HTML. So like this video if you're here to like it, and then subscribe to the page as well. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Girls into Tech on Instagram, Girls into Tech on LinkedIn as well. So just follow us on our social media platforms, and yeah, stay active community group. If there are any questions, feel free to ask me or any of us in any of the group admins in the community group. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.